you don't exist. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowed like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look at better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the third part of What If Deku Finds Tai in Digimon Verse in MHA. Special note, this fanfic is written in a masterpiece of Louis C.J. 888 on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Todoroki quickly launches another ice blast at Stain. Satin easily dodges it by jumping, however Izuku appears on his back. Flame Tail, hitting Stain without him noticing. What the hell? Even if he was type O, it's too soon. Stain thought. Midoriya, you can move, Todoroki said. Yes, that means that there is some kind of rule in his quirk. I was the last to be paralyzed, so it's not a time limit. Maybe it's because of the blood type or the amount ingested, or that it becomes less effective the more people he paralyzes. It's the blood type. Even though you have type O, it was too fast the time you were paralyzed. What did you do? Nothing. I just could move again, Izuku said. I really don't know what happened. If he says that I should have been paralyzed even longer, my blood is type O. Wait, my blood? Izuku's blood. But now I'm Flameman. Maybe it's because my blood is digital that I was able to move much earlier. His quirk worked, but I was able to move quickly because his quirk didn't know how to act with my digital blood. Hero Killer, Stain. Quirk, Blood Curdle. If he drinks your blood, he will paralyze you. The limit is according to blood types. Izuku and Shoto charge at Stain, Shoto wearing his ice armor to avoid the slashes from Stain's katana. Ryukyu vs Agumon. Agumon uses his giant claws to try to cut Ryukyu, but the hero's skin is quite tough, although it manages to damage her a little. Ryukyu quickly counterattacks with her own claws. Without a doubt, this battle is the largest in terms of proportions. Both are the size of a house. Agumon catches Ryukyu in his pincers and smashes him into a large building, which is destroyed at the spot where Ryukyu was smashed. However, this doesn't stop Ryukyu, quickly pummeling Agumon with both of her fists, causing him to let go of her. However, Agumon attacks again, this time using his claws to attack. Ryukyu quickly covers himself from the attack. However, this time the attack does hurt him. His left arm received a deep cut. Ignoring the pain, this time it would be Ryukyu who plunged his right claws into Agumon's stomach, causing a lot of damage. According to information from the ASJ, these things are not technically alive. They are the product of a villain's quirk. Therefore, nothing happens if we destroy them. Taking advantage of Agumon being immobilized by the pain, Ryukyu cuts him in half with her claws, causing Agumon to explode in data. The hero falls to the ground after the battle, returning to her human form. I'm sorry, Agni, but I think someone else should help you against Stain. I'm too weak. This fight was very difficult. After this, she falls completely to the ground. Ryukyu, Gyro quickly goes to help the hero. Are you okay? Yes, I just need to rest a little bit. But I won't be able to help Agni. Don't worry, I heard Endeavor sent someone to help. Perfect. We better check how the other heroes are. Fatgum and Mirko managed to defeat their respective creature. Endeavor is facing the last one, but it seems to be stronger than the rest. The others are on their way to help him. Then we better regroup with him and help him out. So, we can all go for the hero killer. Endeavor vs Digimon. Deadly Nail, Digimon said before trying to damage Endeavor with his nails. Endeavor barely manages to avoid the attack. Is useless, hero. Lord Shigaraki doesn't want you to interfere with his plans. Shigaraki, what does that bastard have planned? That's none of your business, hero. What matters is that you won't be alive when that happens because I will kill you in the name of Lord Shigaraki. Laser Wing. From his wings, a pair of lasers shot out. The lasers were fast enough that Endeavor couldn't dodge them and hit him squarely. Quickly recovering, Endeavor launches a flame against Digimon, which of a movement of his hands manages to destroy. That's the best you got? Endeavor smiles. No, I'm just distracting you. Suddenly Mirko appears behind Digimon's back. Lunar Arc! the hero said, and then managed to deliver a strong kick to Digimon's back. However, this does not end here. Before Digimon hit the ground, Fat Gum appears, and with a blow charged with the fat absorbed from his quirk, causing him to be reverted to his skinny form. He hits Digimon, who flies out again, this time towards Endeavor, who was waiting for him. Disappear. Flashfire Fist. With a gigantic flare, Endeavor hits Digimon, who can do nothing but receive the powerful attack and explode in data after it. After the flare ends, Endeavor lands on the ground. The rest of the heroes join him. Looks like we're done with the creatures. Of course, that damn dinosaur didn't stand a chance against me, Mirko said. It is not yet time to celebrate. There is still an issue. Stain. Rukiyu said, showing the tracker. Fat Gum, you and your intern take care of evacuating people. Mirko, Rukiyu, come with me. We're going to capture Stain. Rukiyu's intern, you two also come with us, Endeavor said. While Fat Gum and Amajiki start evacuating people, Endeavor, Mirko, Rukiyu, and Nejire headed to the place indicated by the tracker. Izuku and Shoto vs Stain. The fight has dragged on too long, but neither side seems to be giving up. Stop, Ida tried to say. If you want us to stop, get up. Set your goal on what you want to become, screamed Todoroki while Izuku charged against Stain. In that, Stain manages to cut Izuku and paralyze him, even if it's only for a few seconds. He quickly approaches Todoroki and manages to throw a knife into Todoroki's right shoulder before trying to attack him with his katana. However, the cut is interrupted by Ida, who, after getting rid of the paralysis, with a kick destroys Stain's katana. Izuku takes advantage of this to attack Stain and push him back. Sorry guys, I got carried away by my fury and made a mistake. He is right. I am not fit to be a hero. However, I can still do the right thing. Let's go. Together we will be able to defeat him, said Ida. Quickly, Izuku and Ida charge at Stain, who is still stunned by Izuku's attack. Ida manages to deliver a kick to Stain's stomach, managing to raise him in the air. Baby salamander, Izuku yells before using Flameman's strongest technique. Finally, Todoroki, using his ice to reach Stain, hits the latter with an ice fist, making him fall to the ground in a forceful way. After several seconds of silence, the atmosphere calmed down. Stain is unconscious. But the calm didn't last. A series of applause began to be heard. On top of a closed dumpster, Shigaraki was clapping his hands at them. Incredible, I can't believe you defeated Stain. Now what can I do? Shigaraki said, mocking the trio of students. Shigaraki, Flameman digivolve to Agumon. Pyro punch, Izuku yelled to transform into Agumon and try to attack Shigaraki with a fire fist. However, in front of him a Digimon appears and blocks the attack. The Digimon resembles a green ogre with long, unkempt white hair, pointed ears adored by earrings, 2 horns on its head, and spikes jutting from its shoulders. It wears a black loincloth with a belt, a bracer on its right arm, red bandages on both its left arm and right leg, and black belts on its left leg. It carries a large, spiked femur bone as a bludgeon weapon. It has skull and crossbones on its left arm below its shoulder spikes, metal studs on the knuckles of its left hand, and a scar on the back of its right hand. Thanks, Ogremon. Now make sure they don't interrupt me. What are you planning? Shigaraki. If you want to know that much, I'll show you, Shigaraki said as he points his D-scan at the unconscious Stain. Stain, get ready to get an incredible power. As he said this, dark rays began to come out of Shigaraki's D-scan. When these rays touched Stain, he seems to regain consciousness and start screaming in pain. Ah! Shigaraki started laughing like a maniac while Ogremon stops the trio of students from doing anything. Suddenly, Stain gets up and a type of black mud begins to sprout from his body, covering him completely. A few seconds later, the screams stop and the mud begins to disappear. Once all the slime is gone, instead of Stain, a different creature was in its place. The creature is a vaguely mechanical-looking Digimon, with a dark green and black metallic humanoid body, with red and yellow details. It lacks a neck, as its head is attached to its shoulders. Likewise, the head is conical in shape and extends upwards. A round mirror replaces his face, in which the only feature is a schematic drawing of the mouth capable of moving like real lips, and which is always smiling devilishly. The Digimon carries two large circular shields whose surfaces are two other mirrors, in addition to having another rectangular mirror located on the chest and another identical one in the same place on the back. "Welcome to the fight, Mercurymon," Shigaraki said. "What? Where am I?" Mercurymon asked. "That doesn't matter. What do you think if you help me with something?" Shigaraki said as he pointed at the trio of students, Izuku to be more specific. Seeing Izuku in his agumon form, Mercurymon laughs. "With pleasure, Lord Tamura." After these words, Mercurymon charges at Izuku. Agumon quickly tackling Izuku, he manages to separate him from the rest of his friends. "What? How do you know this form?" "You're obviously a Digimon, but it seems this is more personal," Izuku asks as he lands. "Wow, you are stupid. I know you because I am also the successor of one of the 10 legendary warriors, ancient Weisman to be more exact." This revelation greatly surprises Izuku. So, Stain was also chosen. "Of course not. This human only serves to store my consciousness. I am my own being. From what you say, you must be a human with the power of ancient Grimon. If you are a successor of one of the legendary warriors, why are you siding with Tamura?" "Fool, not all the successors are good at heart. We only inherit the powers of the legendary warriors, but that does not mean that we share their ideals." In that of one of its mirrors a shine appears. "Enough talk, it's time to fight." From the mirror a beam comes out in the direction of Izuku. He quickly uses a pyro punch to stop the attack. With Ida and Shoto. "Midoriya!" Shoto screamed. "Oh Grimon, make sure these two don't interfere," Shigaraki said while disappearing in a mist portal. "Die!" Ogremon yelled as he charged at Todoroki and Ida. Izuku vs Mercurymon. Crimson Knuckle. Izuku attacks Mercurymon with a punch, however Mercurymon covers himself with one of his mirrors. Before the punch hits, Mercurymon exclaims the following words. Offset reflector. Izuku's punch is absorbed by the mirror, in that Mercurymon points the other mirror in Izuku's direction. Generous mirror. Suddenly, from that mirror came the reflection of Izuku's fist, hitting Izuku's face and sending him flying. "He used my own attack against me." "Pathetic, you always fall for that. It's the oldest trick in the book and you still fall for it," Mercurymon scoffed. Izuku attacks Mercurymon again. He tried to do the same, but this time Izuku stopped before hitting the mirror and jumped behind Mercurymon and managed to hit him. However, the punch didn't do almost any damage to Mercurymon, who simply counterattacked with a kick to Izuku's face. "It seems that you have little energy left. This will be easier than it seems." With Ida and Shoto. The boys dodged an attack from Ogremon's club. Without the Digimon noticing, Shoto reached the right side of the Digimon's chest and managed to completely freeze it. "Ida, now." "Torque over. Recipro burst," Ida screamed, and then destroyed the ice and therefore Ogremon, which exploded into data. "We made it. Now we have to help Midoriya-kun," Ida said. In that Izuku hits the wall next to them. "Midoriya, Midoriya-kun," both boys screamed. Mercurymon lands in front of Izuku. "How boring. I expected more fight from you, Agumon." "Well, it doesn't matter. Getting rid of you will make things easier in the future." Mercurymon attacked Izuku with his fingers, which are very sharp. Blood falls to the ground and splatters on Izuku's face. In front of him, receiving Mercurymon's attack, Shoto Todoroki, sacrificing himself to save his friend's life. Todoroki-kun. "I won't let you kill Midoriya." Gradually Todoroki loses consciousness. "I won't let you kill my friend." Those were his last words. Mercurymon takes Todoroki's body and throws it to the ground as if it was nothing. Izuku stares at Todoroki's death body. "Todoroki-kun." Shoto Todoroki is dead. "Todoroki-kun," Izuku screamed desperately. His friend had died, saving his life. In that, his expression changed to one of fury as he turned to see Mercurymon. "You, I won't let you get away with it." Without thinking, Izuku charges at Mercurymon. Pyro punch. Izuku attacked with a punch engulfed in fire. "Predictable," Mercurymon said, and then used his mirrors to return Izuku's own attack. Offset reflector. Generous mirror. The impact was so strong that Izuku went flying, and what's worse, he crashed into Ida, causing the other boy to crash into the wall and fall unconscious from the impact. "Ida-kun." Izuku checks Ida's pulse and sighs in relief to see that he is only unconscious. "Damn you." Izuku attacked again with the same attack. However, Mercuryman repeated the same process with his mirrors. The situation repeated itself over and over again. Izuku couldn't think straight as he was blinded by fury. That's why he wasn't realizing that what he was doing was useless. Unknown place. Todoroki opens his eyes. He was in a strange place. He couldn't move. He could only float in the immensity of nothing. Where I am? Am I dead? This is what happens after death. Those are the boy's thoughts. However, a voice interrupts his thoughts. Shototodoroki. Shoto tries to search for the origin of the voice, but finds nothing. What in the world? Do you want to save your friends? What the hell? What you are? What the hell with that question? Shoto responded to the voice. I just want to help. Now answer. Do you want to save your friends? After thinking about whether or not to answer, Shoto finally decides to answer. Yes. What are you willing to do to save them? I will do whatever it takes to not only save my friends, but all the people I care about. The voice was silent for a few seconds. In that case, let me help you. Suddenly a light appears in front of Todoroki, showing a device similar to the one Shinso and Izuku have, only this one is light blue with white. Without thinking twice, Todoroki takes the device. Real world. Izuku hits a wall. Again, Mercuryman is just playing with him. When he is about to attack again, something stops him. Something familiar. Suddenly, Todoroki's body stands up. The wounds caused by Mercuryman are healed and Todoroki regains consciousness. The boy looks confused, but notices that he is holding something in his hand. When he sees what it is, he realizes that it is the same device from that weird encounter. Izuku also notices the device and instantly recognizes it. It's a D-scan. That means Todoroki-kun was chosen by one of the legendary warriors. Seeing Todoroki's confusion, Izuku decides to help him. Todoroki-kun, do you remember what Shinso-kun and I do to transform ourselves? Todoroki nods. Do it too. No time for explanations. Todoroki still didn't understand anything, but Izuku is right. It's not the time to question things. Raising his right hand, a data wheel appears in said hand. Execute. The D-scan makes contact with the data. Spirit evolution. Data begins to surround Todoroki. Inside the data, Todoroki's clothes were stored inside the D-scan, in that several screens appeared around Todoroki. These screens showed parts of what appeared to be blue and white clothing, in addition to the white ones appearing to be made of white fur. In addition to appearing what appeared to be metallic bracelets and a mask in the shape of a dragon's head made of ice. Soon each screen joins to form two screens, one behind Todoroki and one in front, each screen showing the full clothing, the front on the front screen and the back on the back screen. In that, both screens begin to approach Todoroki. Once they make contact with him, Todoroki begins to change. Several seconds later, the transformation is complete. The data disappeared, and instead of Todoroki there was Palindromon, a bipedal dragon Digimon with blue skin and red eyes. Its head, limbs and tail are completely covered in ice with blue claws and metal armbands around its arms along with white bandages around its legs. It also has two ice wings with a blue claw at the end. There is a large white fur covering most of its torso with 3 white hexagons on the center of its chest. Interesting. Still doesn't matter. You won't be able to beat me, Mercuryman said. Todoroki-kun, let's defeat this thing, Izuku said as he landed next to the now ice dragon. Todoroki still didn't understand anything, but it's not the time to ask. He'll find out what happened another moment. Let's go. Ice Age. Todoroki fires an ice beam at Mercuryman, who tries to use his mirrors to return the attack. However, Izuku takes advantage of this to avoid it and make the ice beam hit Mercuryman. Taking advantage of the moment, Izuku decides to attack a stunned Mercuryman. Pyro Punch, finally managing to connect his attack against Mercuryman and sending him flying. However, a wall of ice appears and Mercuryman crashes into it. It is Todoroki who created that wall of ice, quickly closing in on Mercuryman as he prepares another attack. Meteor Hail, tackling the enemy while he is completely covered in ice. Midoriya, now. Izuku's fists are surrounded by an immense amount of fire. Million Gatling Burst. Izuku proceeds to attack Mercuryman multiple times with his fists engulfed in fire and finally finish it off with a Pyro Punch, effectively sending Mercuryman flying. Outside the alley, the group led by Endeavor has just arrived at the place. However, Before they can enter the alley, they see how Mercuryman is thrown and crashes into the building in front. Izuku and Shoto come out of the alley. However, as soon as they land, they both return to their human forms. Shoto because he had just obtained his powers, and Izuku because his energy was already extremely low. Frost, Agni, everyone screamed at the sight of the boys. Ryukyu, after making sure that her intern is all right, observes Mercuryman. Another one of those creatures. Where is the hero killer? Mirko asked. Without the boys being able to respond, Mercuryman gets up. Enough. Now I am angry. Prepare to suffer my fury. Mercuryman points one of his mirrors at the group. However, he notices that his body is starting to turn to mud again. How lucky yours. It seems my time is up. Next time you won't catch me off guard. After these words, Mercuryman melts into mud, and from the mud Stain's unconscious body falls to the ground. That thing was Stain? Nejire screams. However, Izuku and Shoto notice something. Something came out of Stain's body. That thing seems to be a kind of miniature Mercuryman. Izuku recognizes it instantly. It's a digital spirit. Izuku tries to take the spirit. However, a purple mist appears and prevents him from taking the spirit. From that mist appears Shigaraki. Apparently you managed to win. Doesn't matter. My experiment was a success, and that's the only thing that interests me. Shigaraki, Endeavor yells as he throws a fireball at Shigaraki. The fireball hits the villain, but when the smoke disappears, instead of Shigaraki there was Duskman. Endeavor spares no expense and prepares a fire punch to hit Shigaraki. However, the villain takes out one of his swords and cuts the hero's chest. The cut was not fatal, but it did leave the hero quite injured. Father, Shoto yelled as he and Izuku stood in front of the fallen hero. Shoto tried to throw a blast of ice at the villain, but to his surprise nothing happened. What? I can't feel my quirk. Shigaraki stares at the student duo, in that he sees Shoto's D-scan. So, there's another one. Ice, fire, and light. Interesting. In that he takes Stain and charges him over his shoulder, and then points his sword in his free hand towards the heroes. It seems that this time you won, but no, the victory is mine even if it doesn't seem like it. You better spread this message all over Japan. The hero killer is part of the villain league, and there will be nothing and no one, not even the chosen ones, that can defeat us. After these words, Shigaraki disappears into the purple mist. After this, a few minutes later the doctors arrived and took all the injured to the hospital. Ida opens his eyes and realizes that he is in the hospital. In that, a voice calls his attention. Ida-kun, you're awake. It's Izuku, who is in a hospital bed in front of him. Next to him, Todoroki is also seated in a hospital bed. Todoroki-kun, you're alive. Yes, I was lucky. In that, several people enter the room, Manuel, Ryukyu, and a man with a dog's head. They are awake. Perfect. Good night. I'm the chief of police, Kenji Tsuragami. So, you are the ones who defeated the hero killer. Woof. Woof, the trio thought. I will be direct with you. While you all did a good deed, one of you did it while breaking the law, Kenji said as he watched Ida. I don't understand. I thought we had permission to act, Izuku said. Todoroki nodded in agreement. In your case, and that of the young Todoroki, it is correct, but the young Ida acted rashly, and without the hero who was in charge of him giving him permission. You must understand that if this is made public, your partner will suffer terrible consequences. This made the atmosphere tense. That's why I took the liberty to say that the hero killer's defeat was caused by 2 students only, who had permission to act in an emergency. This surprised the boys. Kenji bows slightly. Congratulations, heroes Agni and Frost. Even if you didn't catch Stain, there's a lot of merit to what you guys did. After this, Kenji leaves. Ryukyu congratulates Izuku while Manuel lightly scolds Ida. How is my father? Todoroki asks. Don't worry, the doctors have already treated him. Apart from a scar on his chest, he will recover without any problem, Ryukyu said. This calms Todoroki down a bit. We leave you to recover. Izuku, you and Todoroki have a medical discharge to leave the hospital tomorrow. Izuku, take tomorrow to rest, and the day after tomorrow we will continue with your training. Todoroki, Endeavor said to take the rest of your internship resting at home. The doctors won't release him until after the internships are over. After these words, the heroes retire. Well, it could have been worse, Ida said. Congrats guys, I think it's only fair that I'm out of the Rex. It's my fault that we got involved with Stain. Don't worry Ida, as long as you have learned, everything is forgiven. Izuku said. Ida thanks and decides to continue resting a little more. In that, Izuku notices Todoroki deep inside his thoughts. Todoroki-kun, are you alright? This snaps Todoroki out of his thoughts. Yes, it's just that I still can't process everything that happened. But don't worry, I just need to rest a bit. Izuku nods and lays down to get some sleep. Why can't I use my quirk? Maybe it's because I'm tired, I just need to rest, that's all. Tomorrow I'll be able to use it normally. In that he turns to see the D-scan that is on the table next to his bed. I also have to talk to Midoriya about this thing. After this, Todoroki decides to go to sleep as well. Digital space. Todoroki opens his eyes. However, it was nowhere that he recognized. The place was strange. It was a place surrounded by what seemed to be digital data. Columns and rows of data floated around Todoroki. Where am I? Todoroki-kun, a voice called him. It's Izuku, who seems to be in the same place as him, but he seemed to be calmer. Midoriya, do you know where we are? Kind of. If we're where I think we are, you'll get the answers you need. So, you're here too. Midoriya and Todoroki? Shinso appeared next to the boys. If Todoroki is here, that means that he also. That's correct, young Shinso, a voice said. When the boys turn to look, they can see Ancient Grimon, Ancient Gyromon, and to Izuku and Shinso's surprise, Ancient Megatheriumon. What the heck? What are those things? Shoto asked. You can rest easy, Shoto Todoroki. We are not going to do you any harm, Ancient Grimon said. So, what the hell are you? We are Digimon. Digimon? Ancient Grimon explains to Todoroki what a Digimon is, as well as what happened in the alley at the time of his death. I see, that explains a lot. I guess I have you to thank you, Ancient Megatheriumon. No need, young Todoroki. I only reward you for your display of bravery and sacrifice. I have a question. This thing with the D-scans and Digivolution, does it have anything to do with the fact that I can no longer use my quirk? This question surprises Izuku and draws Shinso's attention. Yes, as of now, you have lost your quirk, Ancient Grimon said. This took everyone by surprise. What? What the fuck? What does Digimon and all this have to do with the quirks? Calm down, young Todoroki. That's why we brought you here, to explain what happened, Ancient Gyromon said. But so that you can understand the reason why you lost your quirk, we must tell you the story of the true origin of the quirks, Ancient Megatheriumon said. Please do not interrupt. Once the story is over, we will answer all your questions, Ancient Grimon said. The boys nodded. The story begins many years ago, in the time before quirks existed. The digital world and the human world were separated, until one day, an evil Digimon known as Lucimon found a way to go to the human world, then decided to invade and destroy it. We, along with the rest of the legendary warriors, fought against him, and in the end, we managed to defeat him, with only 5 of us surviving. However, the destruction and human lives lost were very great. Yggdrasil, our god, never wanted our worlds to come together, so the surviving warriors use our powers to repair all the damage and make humans forget our existence. However, we didn't realize that a little residue of our power, a little bit of data, was left wandering in the human world. This data was absorbed by a human. However, said human was not able to use the data, but was able to pass it on to his descendant. That descendant surprised everyone. That baby began to glow. This revelation surprised everyone. The first quirk, so that means? Izuku said. Correct. What you know as a quirk is nothing more than data absorbed by humans and passed on to their descendants. So, the quirkless are people without data, Shinso said. No, you're wrong. If Midoriya didn't have data, he wouldn't be able to use my power. Quirkless people are people with deactivated data. The data inside his body never activated and therefore never woke up a quirk. But that doesn't explain the D-scan and why I lost my quirk. The D-scan uses the data stored within the human body and uses it for transformations. In Midoriya's case, the D-scan activates the data within his body and uses it to write the digital code of my descendants, Ancient Grimon explained. In your case, the D-scan uses your quirks. As the quirks are data, The D-scan takes them and rewrites them to host the digital code of ancient Gorumon and mine's descendants. Ancient Megatheriumon said. Wait, they're quirks? In plural. So, Shinso, did you used to have a quirk? Izuku asked. Yes. You lied to me. I'm sorry, before I had the D-scan everyone painted me as a villain because of my quirk. That's why when I met you, I didn't want to miss my last chance to have a friend. So I lied, I lost my quirk. But I didn't care, I never liked my quirk. Sorry. It's okay. Anyway, that doesn't matter anymore. The three of us don't have quirk, and now we are the chosen ones. I forgive you. We are still friends. Thank you. By the way, Ancient Grimon, about Shigaraki. We know, we are aware of everything. And to answer, no, we have no idea how he has a D-scan, nor why he has the spirits of the descendants of our friends. What we do know is that the digivolutions he does are not the correct ones. What do you mean? Duskman and Veljamon are not the descendants of ancient Sphinxmen. Luimon and Jaeger Luimon are the true descendants. You talk as if there was more than one digivolution, Shinso said. That's right, our power was divided into two, into the human spirit, which all of you already possess, and the animal spirit. Then there are more digivolutions. Correct. Just as Agumon, Lobomon and Paladramon are the human spirits of fire, light and ice respectively, Burning Grimon, Kendigaromon and Korakakimon are the animal spirits of fire, light and ice respectively. But, unlike the human spirits, you have to unlock the animal spirits on your own. We can't do anything else. I see. And now what will happen to the rest of the legendary warriors? Does Shigaraki have them all? Izuku asked. No, he has 5 of them. Ancient Caseman and Ancient Beetlemon are still with us. They just haven't chosen someone to wield their powers yet. Maybe it's because they survived with us. That's good. At least we can have more allies, Shinso said. That is very good. But how are we going to explain to everyone the change in my quirk? I don't think it will go unnoticed that now I also do the same as you, Shoto said. That's a problem, but I'm sure Nezu will know what to do, Izuku said. Nezu? Yes, you see, Nezu is actually a Digimon in disguise, Izuku explained. I see, this is getting more and more rare. Chosen ones, it seems that you have a new mission. You must retrieve all of Shigaraki's stolen spirits, in addition to finding out how Shigaraki obtained the corrupted D-scan of darkness. Don't worry, we will, Izuku said. Shinso and Todoroki nodded. Thank you. After this, the Digimon disappear, and the boys return to the real world. Villain's hideout. Stain opens his eyes and quickly gets up. Seeing the place, he realizes that he is back in the hideout of the League, in that he turns to see Shigaraki. What the hell was that? Oh, nothing. Just a little gift from me to you, Shigaraki said. What is your real goal? We will destroy this world, leaving no trace of it. Stain gives Shigaraki a bloody look. Shigaraki prepares for anything by taking his D-scan. However, Stain just laughs. Very well, if that's what we're going to do, let's do it. The atmosphere calmed down. Perfect, you better rest. I'll be preparing some things, Shigaraki said as he left the room. At that, Sensei speaks. Looks like your experiment was a success. That's right, Sensei. As long as Mercurymon stays inside Stain's consciousness, he will do what I want without refusing at the same time that he thinks that's what he wants to do. Now all that remains is for Stain to do his job, for his influence to bring more people with us, so we can have more hosts for the rest. I'm glad your plan is working. Now if you'll excuse me, I have to check a few things. Don't worry, Sensei, you can count on me. All for One's hideout. Did you collect the data, Dr. Garaki? All for One says. Yes, the analysis indicates that it is possible to transfer a Digimon to the consciousness of a human, even passing that Digimon from one consciousness to another. However, the process appears to be painful in bodies that are not ready for the transfer. The doctor answers. That's why I hand over the corrupted D-scan to Tamura, so that his body is ready for the moment of the transfer. That's right, soon you will have a better body, and you will be able to recover all your power, Lord Luciman. A few days had passed, and the internships ended without any other incident. Right now we can see Izuku in the train in the way to Yua. At that, a person taps him on the back. Hey, excuse me. Turning around, you can see a boy about 8 or 9 years old. "Excuse me, are you izukumidoriya?" "Why, yeah." Hearing this, stars appeared in the boy's eyes. "Mom, look, I told you it's him." These words made Izuku nervous. "Who is this child?" The mother approaches when listening to her son. "Sorry, my son became a fan of yours after seeing you at the sports festival. Imagine when he found out that you were one of the students who faced the hero killer." Izuku was surprised to hear this. He had fans. "Can you give me your autograph please and a photo?" the kid asked. Seeing the boy, Izuku remembered when he was a child and his fanaticism for All Might that made him smile with nostalgia. "Sure." Izuku signs the boy's notebook and proceeds to take a picture with him, after which the boy thanks and leaves with his mother, just in time for the station where Izuku gets off the train. Upon reaching the entrance of the UA, Shinso, Todoroki and Aizawa are present waiting for him. Once he got close to them, Aizawa spoke. "Principal's office. Now, I'm aware of what happened." Principal's office. "I see, so ancient Megathriumon chose you, Todoroki," Bakuman said. "Why yes, Bakuman, Nizu sir," Todoroki said. "This certainly causes us problems. At the moment nobody knows anything. But when Todoroki uses the D-scan, people will start to suspect, especially because of the sudden change in his quirk," Aizawa said. "In that you are right. But luckily I have been working on different covers for this. Luckily that Todoroki had an ice quirk, and that he was just chosen by the Ice Warrior makes the cover still work," Bakuman said. "And what would that cover you mentioned be?" Aizawa asked, earning a smirk from Bakuman. "Meeting room." "Quirk evolution?" Midnight asked. "That's right. After hearing what happened, I came to the hypothesis that Todoroki's quirk had some kind of evolution. Somehow his quirk reached a change that was necessary to evolve," Nezu explained. "But that doesn't explain the transformations," Present Mike said. "I didn't use the word evolution just because it sounds nice. If you haven't forgotten your history classes, Homo sapiens evolved from one ancestor, Homo erectus. I suspect that the forms the boys take are the possible evolutions that are necessary to be able to use their quirks," Nezu said. "But evolution took thousands of years to get to where we are today," Toshinori said. "That's where the devices come in, D-scan as the boys named it. Maybe that device forces the evolution in the boys' bodies to adapt to the new strength of their quirks." "And how do you explain that young Midoriya and young Shinso have 2 transformations?" "Evolution is a strange event. You never know which path evolution will take. That's why I think there is more than one transformation, as evolution is unpredictable. I think the D-scan turns them into the possible forms that evolution would take." "I see, that makes so much sense," Midnight said. "Like I said, this is just a hypothesis. None of us know what's really going on, so I'll make sure to look into the matter," Nezu said. "Aizawa-kun, you are the teacher of the 3 students who have this. If something happens that helps us, let me know." "Yes, Nezu." "All right, now that we've cleared up that point, I have a few suggestions for Class 1A's exam," Nezu continued. "Classroom 1A. So, that's what happened," Uraraka said. Todoroki just explained what happened with his quirk, using the same explanation as Nizu. "I see, quirk evolution," Ida said. "That means that Midoriya-kun and Shinso-kun, kind of, our quirks evolved before we woke them up at age 4, Izuku explained. "I see, still, that sounds amazing. I hope mine evolves too. It would be great to transform into something like a fairy or something," Uraraka said. In that, the door opens and Aizawa enters the classroom. Upon entering, everyone was in their respective quiet places, sitting and in silence. "Good," Aizawa said. "Let's see, summer vacation is close, but none of you will be able to rest during these 30 days. Everyone tensed up for this. We will go camping in the woods during the holidays." After this announcement, everyone was excited. However, a look from Aizawa made them shut up. "However, if someone fails the final exams, they will stay in school and have remedial classes. Everyone, do your best," Kirishima shouted to motivate everyone. "Now, I think you have a hero lesson with All Might," Aizawa said while everyone grabs their suitcase. After this, everyone got ready and went to the place where All Might was waiting. Everyone was in their hero costume, except for Ida. His costume was being repaired. "Today we are having a rescue lesson," Form 3 groups of 5 people and 1 of 4. When I give the distress signal, team members will enter from outside the zone. This will be a competition to see who can rescue me first. The group of Shiro, Mina, Ida, Ojiro, and Izuku was first. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but just so you know, Izuku won the competition. Using agumon, he beat everyone in speed and get there first. The rest of the competitions occurred without any incident. Todoroki, Bakugou, and Shinso also won their respective competition. Despite only having 4 winners, you all have improved since entering the academy. Keep it up and get ready for the final exams. After these words, All Might runs away. It doesn't seem strange to them that whenever we finish classes with him, he runs away in a hurry. Shinso said. His friends nodded in agreement. Classroom 1A. I didn't study at all, screamed Mina and Kaminari. I couldn't study because of the sports festival and the internships, said Kaminari. Ashido-san, Kaminari-kun, we have to try harder, said Izuku. So, we can all go to camp. It's easy for you to say, you're in the top ranks, Kaminari said. If you have so many problems, I can help you, Momo said. I don't know about them, but I need help with fractions, Gyro said. I need help with Spanish, Shiro said. Yes, me too, Mina said. Please Yaoyorozu, help me too, Kaminari said. Please Yaoyorozu, help us, they all said in unison. This excited Momo. Of course, we can all meet at my house, she said. Yaoyorozu will help with studies. Now that I think about it, I need help too. Maybe I should ask her for help, Kirishima said. I can teach you better than her, Bakugou said. Sure, what could go wrong? Cafeteria. Apparently, it will be a synthesis of everything seen so far, said Ida. That's what Aizawa-sensei said. The rest will be basic training, said Uraraka. Studying for the exam and keeping our physical condition to perfection, Izuku said. He was going to continue but something, or rather someone, interrupted him. Midoriya, I found you. It was Nejire, who was heading towards Izuku along with 2 other people. The first one is a tall young man with rather pale skin. His ears are longer than most, their tips pointy and somewhat elf-like. He has messy, indigo hair, which sticks out behind his head, and thin, tired-looking eyes, partially covered by his bangs despite the fact that they're supposed to be split as to not impair his vision. The other one is a tall young man with a very muscular build who possesses a number of noticeable scars around his lower arms. He has blue oval-shaped eyes with no visible sclera, and nose which is prominently rounder than most others. He has blonde hair, the top part of which is arranged in a cowlick, while the bottom section is worn swept backward. Hado-senpai, Izuku said. You know her? Shinso asked. Why, yeah, she was interning with Ryukyu when I did my internship with her. Her name is Nejire Hado, and she is a 3rd year, Izuku explained. Nejire approached Izuku and his friends. I finally found you, Midoriya. Hado-senpai. What brings you here? Izuku asked. Don't you remember? I told you I'd introduce you to my friends, Nejire said, and then pointed at the pale boy. This guy here is Tamaki Amajiki. She then points at the blonde boy. This here is Tagata Mirio. Nice to meet you, Mirio said with a big smile while Tamaki just waved. So you are that Midoriya that Nejire told us about. Why, yeah, I guess you guys are the ones Nejire mentioned, the big 3, Izuku said. That's correct. From what Nejire told us, you are quite strong. We should face each other one day, Mirio said. Sure, Izuku said. In that, Izuku turns to see his friends with faces of confusion. Sorry guys. They are my friends, Hitoshi Shino, Shototodoroki, Ochako Uraraka, and Tenya Ida. Izuku introduced his friends. It is a pleasure to meet our seniors, Ida said. So, tell me, what are you doing? Nejire said. We're just thinking what our practical test could be, Izuku said. Oh, that, if I remember correctly, our practical exam was to face robots, Naira said. Robots? I see. Though I think knowing this would be cheating, Ida said. I don't think so. At the end of the day, we are obtaining information on our own, Shinso said. They are an interesting group, Mirio said. Suddenly, for a second, he turned to look in one direction. It was nice meeting you, but I just remembered that I need to do something. See you another day, and Midoriya, I'm ready to face you whenever you want. Sure, when our exams are over, I'll make sure to look for you, Izuku said. Mirio gives a smile and leaves. Strange, he's been busier than usual lately, Nejire said. Hey, do you mind if we sit down with you? Go ahead, it will be interesting to meet our seniors, Ida said. The rest nodded in agreement. The days passed quickly for some and very slowly for others. The written exams passed, and so the day of the practical exam arrived. Everyone was in their hero costume, but they were surprised by the number of pro heroes that wear their... There's a lot of teachers, said Gyro. I found out that some people found out what the exam is about, so we decided to change it, said the principal, who emerged from Eraserhead's capture weapon. You will pair up to fight one of the teachers. Against the teachers? Correct. There will be a total of 9 teams, 8 of them will be in pairs and 1 in thirds, due to the lack of a student in the group. For example, Bakugou and Yaoyorozu are facing me, Eraserhead explained. The team of 3 will be made up of Midoriya, Shinso and Todoroki and will face, he said, but was interrupted by someone. Me, said Allmight. All 9 teams will start on their respective stages at the same time. The test will be explained to them by the teacher with whom they will fight. Time is precious, so make your way to your buses. They all got on their respective buses and went to the place of their tests. The fights are about to start. Tsuyu Asui and Fumikage Takoyami vs Ectoplasm. Both teenagers worked together incredibly well. Their tactic was to use their abilities to escape, however Ectoplasm managed to catch them and ruin their plan. Luckily, using Tsuyu's ability to store things in her stomach and Dark Shadow, they managed to trick Ectoplasm and capture him. Ijiro Kirishima and Rikido Sato vs Cementos. The fight was long, but not because the boys gave the teacher a lot of fight, but because the boys tried a direct attack tactic. However, Cementos created several barriers which were destroyed by the boys, but said barriers were created faster than what were destroyed. In the end, both boys failed to get past the teacher's defenses and failed the exam. Mashiro Ajiro and Tenya Ida vs Power Loader. This battle was fast. Power Loader had the field controlled thanks to his quirk. However, thanks to his Recipro Burst, Ida manages to throw Ajiro with the necessary force to avoid touching the ground and reach the exit. Kyoka Gyro and Hantasiro vs Present Mike. At first, both students had trouble facing Present Mike, as he was keeping them away with his quirk. However, in the end, they managed to coordinate with Gyro distracting Present Mike, while Siro managed to capture the hero. Ochako Uraraka and Yuuga Aoyama vs 13. Uraraka and Aoyama were clinging to a railing so as not to be sucked into 13's technique. This is bad. If we let go, we can die, said Aoyama in a worried tone. Weirdly enough, his face wasn't worried at all. Come on, think, what would Deku-kun do right now, Uraraka thought. Are you thinking about what Midoriya would do at a time like this? Do you like him? This question made Uraraka blush, and she inadvertently let go of the railing. Realizing this, 13 deactivates her quirk, and quickly Uraraka uses what she learned with Gunhead to immobilize the hero and, with some help from Aoyama, capture her. Denki Kaminari and Mina Ashido vs the principal. The battle, if you can call it that, was totally dominated by Nezu. Using his intelligence, he managed to make Mina and Denki unable to do anything until the time was up, failing the exam. Toru Hagakure and Mizo Shoji vs Snipe. The battle was fast. Shoji served as bait to distract Snipe, while Hagakure, thanks to her invisibility, approached Snipe and captured him. Katsuki Bakugou and Momo Yaoyorozu vs Eraserhead. Bakugou and Momo were in an alley. Alright, Ponytail, do you have any plan? Bakugou asked. Why do you ask me? Momo said. Bakugou growls at this response. Because, although I hate to admit it, you are the smartest among the whole group. I see. Still, I don't think any of my plans will work. What the FCK are you talking about? Don't you remember? I lost in a humiliating way against Takoyami and my internship was a waste of time. I don't think I'm useful for anything. And this is it. Just for that you give up? How pathetic, Bakugou said. Everybody can lose from time to time. The only exception is All Might. You had bad experiences in your internship. Who cares? Use that experience to know what not to do. If you give up just because of that, then you don't deserve to be a hero. Those words made Momo sad. Whatever. Just start creating shit with your quirk. If it stops, it means Eraserhead is nearby. Oh, okay. Momo start creating things as both students start walking towards the exit. After several minutes of walking, Momo feels her quirk stop working. Be Bakugou, my quirk. From the edge of his eyes, Bakugou could see Eraserhead approaching. Shit, get out of the way, Bakugou said as he pushed Momo out of the way. Bakugou tries to charge at Eraserhead with his explosions. However, the hero deactivates Bakugou's quirk and captures him with his bandages. Shit, Ponytail, get the FCK out of here. Hearing this, Momo flees the area towards the exit. To her surprise, Eraserhead doesn't chase her. So, that's your plan, Eraserhead. You are the bait as she escapes, knowing that is unlikely to let you go. Of course not. I was hoping that Ponytail would do something. That girl is depressed for losing to Blackbird. And you didn't help her. I told her what was necessary. I'm not a fucking psychologist. Also, she should figure it out for herself. If she's not capable of that, maybe she shouldn't have entered the hero course. You are helping someone in your own way. You have changed Bakugou in a good way. Momo is about to reach the exit. However, she stops. Memories of her conversation with Bakugou make her stop. Because, although I hate to admit it, you are the smartest among the whole group. It's true, she always stood out for being very intelligent. And this is it? Just for that you give up? How pathetic. That memory hurt her, but Bakugou was right. Everybody can lose from time to time. The only exception is All Might. That's true, every hero has bad times. You had bad experiences in your internship. Who cares? Use that experience to know what not to do. Words also full of truth. After all, everyone can have bad experiences. In addition to bad experiences, you can also learn. If you give up just because of that, then you don't deserve to be a hero. It's true, she can't give up. She will become a hero, and no one can help it. Thanks, Bakugou. You may be a bit harsh with your words, but you're right. I'm not going to give up. Hang on, I'm coming to help you. Meanwhile, Eraserhead still had Bakugou prisoner, in that two Matryoshka dolls fall in front of Aizawa. When they open, it is revealed that each one has smoke bombs. Just at that moment they explode, covering Eraserhead with smoke. Taking advantage of Eraserhead's inability to see him, Bakugou uses his explosions to free himself from Eraserhead's capture weapon. Bakugou, Momo calls out to him from a distance. Bakugou uses his explosions to go towards her. They both walk away from the place and hide. You're back, so you're not as pathetic as I thought, Bakugou said. Yes, your words were strong, but you were right. Don't thank me yet. Thank me when we pass this exam, Bakugou said with a smirk which made Momo smirk as well. Bakugou quickly checks and notes that they are safe from Eraserhead, at least for now. Alright, Ponytail, do you have any plaw? When Bakugou turns around, he can see Momo, turned away from him with her suit open in front as she creates something akin to Eraserhead's capture weapon. Bakugou quickly turns around with a slight blush on his face. What is that shit? It looks like the shit that Eraserhead uses to capture, Bakugou said, meanwhile in his mind. They are bigger than they look. That's right. It's just that these are made of a special alloy that hardens when heated. I think that gives you an idea of what I'm planning. Hearing this, Bakugou smirks. Eraserhead is looking for his opponents, in that he manages to see a blanket with two lumps walking towards the exit. They cover up so I can't use my quirk on them, but it won't do. Eraserhead uses her blindfolds to capture the duo. However, that was a distraction. Momo, who was using mannequins to pretend to be Bakugou and her, was waiting under the blanket with a catapult, loaded with her creation. Momo activates the catapult and the bandages trap Aizawa. Bakugou, now, she said. Bakugou appears behind Eraserhead's back. Die, he screams and then releases a large explosion. The heat of the explosion makes the bandages harden and Eraserhead unable move, after which Momo proceeds to place the handcuffs on her opponent. The Bakugou Yaoyorozu team passes, said the announcement. Bakugou smirks and proceeds to leave, however Momo stops him. Bakugou, wait, she stops him. I just wanted to thank you for your words. They may have been a bit aggressive, but it still helped me a lot. Whatever. Next time don't try to get me to help you. Don't worry, there won't be a next time. You know, you were pretty obnoxious and rude at first, but I think you've changed a bit, for the better. You are still somewhat unpleasant and rude, but you can also be seen to be somewhat more friendly and willing to help others. Bakugou just shrugs. Whatever. Those were his words as he left, however his mind remembers what made him start to change a bit. Flashback. After the sports festival. Bakugou and Izuku were face to face. They were both looking at each other and Bakugou is getting impatient. Damn it, Deku, say something. Where the hell did you get that quirk from? Izuku knew this was coming. I don't know. The fuck? Don't say stupid things. Well, it's the truth, I don't know. A few months before the UA entrance exam, I was attacked by a villain. At that moment this device appeared, and I was able to transform. That's all, I have nothing more to say. I don't know very well what happened either. Let's say I believe you, which I don't. So why the fuck didn't you tell me you got a quirk? You ask why. Do you think I would tell you, after everything you put me through? Of all the times you bullied me, that you attacked me and hurt me? Think why I never told you anything. Because you didn't deserve it. After those words, Izuku leaves, leaving a stunned Bakugou behind. Bakugou clenched his fists after that memory. Izukumidoriya, Hitoshi Shinso and Shototodoroki vs All Might. Izuku, Shinso and Todoroki are at the entrance, ready to pass the exam. Or at least that's what they seemed. We are facing All Might, Izuku couldn't think because of his nerves. Do you want to calm down for a second? Shinso tried to calm his friend down. I think we should have started long ago. Todoroki was being ignored by the other two. Meanwhile, with All Might, he was waiting. It seems they are hiding. It's okay, I'll make sure they come out of hiding. Detroit Smash. With one punch, All Might destroys the entire city, or at least most of it. After this, All Might manages to see the trio still at the entrance, this time with scared and surprised faces when seeing the destruction. I found you, heroes. Oh no, quick, we have to transform, Izuku said. The trio, after those words, take out their D-scans and prepare to transform. Execute, the trio said in unison, a data wheel appearing in each of the boys' right hands. Spirit evolution. The D-scans make contact with the data, and it surrounds each boy. After several seconds, the transformations were complete. Agumon, Labamon, Paladramon. Let's go, Izuku ordered. The trio charged against All Might, who was ready to receive them. Izuku tries to land a blow. However, All Might takes a step back and Izuku collides with Shinso, who also tried to attack All Might. Shoto uses his ice wings to lift himself up. Ice Age, and fires an ice beam at All Might. However, the hero takes both Izuku and Shinso, who were still stunned, and uses Shinso as a shield against the attack and throws Izuku at Shoto at a high speed which the boy cannot dodge. Izuku and Shoto fall to the ground, and All Might throws Shinso next to them. The trio get up. That didn't go well, Todoroki said. No shit. If you don't tell me, I don't realize it, Shinso said sarcastically. Guys, focus. Izuku tried to calm things down. If we don't win or we manage to escape, we will fail the exam. Right, sorry, Shinso said. All right, let's try again, Izuku said. Let's go. This time the three of them charged at All Might, each preparing an attack. Crimson Knuckle, Running Meteor, Meteor Hail. Seeing this, All Might dodges Izuku's attack, letting the rest happen by itself. By dodging Izuku, he gets in the middle of the path of Shinso's attack, which hits him and sends him flying. Shinso, seeing this, cannot react and is accidentally hit from behind by Todoroki's attack, who after doing this receives a punch in the stomach by All Might. Ha ha ha. You three are strong, but your teamwork is so bad, All Might said to later dodge a pyro punch from Izuku, which accidentally hits Todoroki, who tried to charge at All Might at that moment. What am I going to do with you? All Might said before hitting Izuku in the stomach with a smash and sending him flying next to Todoroki. Finally, he avoids an attack from Shinso, and from another smash he sends him towards the other two, crashing against them. The first to get up is Izuku, who upon seeing the situation pyro darts fires several fire darts, but not at All Might, but at the ground, creating a smoke screen and taking Shinso and Todoroki to safety. Izuku leads Shinso and Todoroki through some rubble and they hide. Okay, something is definitely not working, Izuku said. Sure, you guys are getting in the way of my attacks, Shinso said. Us? You literally got in the way of all my attacks, Todoroki said. Me? It's not my fault you can't aim well, Shinso said. That's it. After these words, Shinso and Todoroki begin to struggle with each other. Hey, that's enough. Cut it out, Izuku yelled. This yell made Shinso and Todoroki stop fighting. Let's not waste our strength pointing fingers. We are obviously doing something wrong. It is not obvious. Our teamwork sucks, Shinso said. I don't understand how we could work well as a team in combat training and do it horribly here. Shinso's words made Izuku realize what is happening. It's because in training matches, we didn't work as a team. If you remember, we split up to face our targets individually. We are doing the same thing now. We are attacking as if we were in a one-on-one. We do not take into account the others who are also attacking, so we are uncoordinated, and we hinder each other. We must start thinking as a group, not as individuals, Izuku said. Makes sense, but do you think it would work? Shinso asked. Yes, we cannot say that we know each other perfectly to be able to coordinate. We don't, but our digital forms do. In the same way that we use our attacks and movements, we must let our instincts help us. The ancients worked as a team. We must have in our digital memory those ways of fighting, Izuku said. I guess we have nothing to lose by trying, Shinso said. You're right, we just need to immobilize All Might so we can escape, Todoroki said. Let's do it, Izuku said. The other two nodded in agreement. Meanwhile, All Might was waiting. He knew that the boys would try to attack him again, so he decided to wait. His suspicions turned out to be true. The three boys landed in front of him. You couldn't live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me, All Might said. This time it will be different. Shinzo-kun, Todoroki-kun. Let's go, Izuku ordered. The three boys charged All Might again. Todoroki stops dead while Izuku and Shinso continue. Once in front of All Might, he tries to hit them. However, the boys avoid the blow and position themselves on both sides of All Might. Crimson Knuckle, Lobo Kendo, Licked Victor Alpha. Both boys attack. However, All Might easily stops the attacks with his arms. However, this is what the boys wanted. He has been exposed. Meteor Hail. All Might feels a pain in his stomach. Todoroki attacked him in the stomach, taking advantage of the fact that he was exposed and could not defend himself. This attack was strong enough to make All Might take a few steps back. Shinso-kun, Izuku said. They both jumped and positioned themselves on top of All Might. Combined attack, Shining Burn Slash, the two yelled in unison. Izuku surrounds All Might with a fire dragon. Shinso takes advantage of this to slash with his swords, causing fire and light to hit All Might. Ice Age, Todoroki takes advantage of All Might being knocked down by the attack to freeze him to the ground. We caught him, but not for long. It's time to go, Izuku said. The trio began to run in the direction of the exit. All Might frees himself from the ice and tries to go towards the boys, but a pain in his stomach stops him, and he begins to cough. Realizing that he is coughing up blood, All Might knows that he has been defeated. It only took a few attacks for them to make me tired. Well, I'm not using all my power either. Even so, this quirk evolution is very interesting. Unable to do anything else, All Might watches as the boys cross the exit. The Shinso Todoroki Midoriya team passes, said the announcement. All the confrontations concluded, and these were the results. Kyoka Gyro and Hantashiro both passed via capture. Toru Hagakure and Miso Shoji both passed via capture. Momo Yayurazu and Katsuki Bakugou both passed via capture. Ochako Uraraka and Yuuga Aoyama both passed via capture. Denki Kaminari and Mina Ishido both failed. Tsuyu Asui and Fumikage Takoyami both passed via capture. Ijiro Kirishima and Rikido Sato both failed. Mashiro Ajiro and Tenya Ida both passed via escape. Hitoshi Shinso, Shoto Todoroki and Izuku Midoriya both passed via escape. The next day, Aizawa entered to the classroom, which was surprisingly quiet. Good morning. Now we will talk about the final exam. It's a shame, but some of you failed. So, we're all going to camp. This cheered everyone up. No one failed the theory exam, and only Kirishima, Sato, Ashido, and Kaminari failed the practical exam. And that's why the 4 of you will be taking remedial courses during camp. Well, at least we are all going to camp, said Kirishima. I have an idea, said Mina, since we rest tomorrow. All of us in class could go shopping. That's a great idea, said Kaminari. Yes. Hey Bakugou, will you come too? Asked Kirishima. Whatever. I just hope it's not boring. Surprisingly, Bakugou accepted. Will you come too, Todoroki-kun? Izuku asked. Sure, I have some free time, Todoroki said. In that case, it's decided. Class goes shopping, Mina said. Villain's hideout. Shigaraki was going over his plans while Kurogiri was just cleaning some glasses and Stain was in the bathroom. In that a man enters the place. Jurin, Shigaraki said, what do you want? Jurin is a middle-aged man of moderate height and slight build, with eyebrows that appear to be drawn up most of the time and notably squinted-looking pink eyes. He has short gray hair worn parted to his right with side bangs hanging above his eyes, along with a small mustache and a goatee on his chin, and one of his front teeth seems to be missing, leaving a gap in his grin. He wears a pair of dress pants and a matching blazer, along with plain black shoes and a shirt which he leaves partially unbuttoned at the top. He has a thick, golden tube-like necklace around his neck that appears to be made up of multiple segments, sometimes along with a fluffy scarf that resembles intestines in shape and color, also sporting a pair of circular glasses on his face. Oh, nothing, I just brought you some potential recruits. When Jurin said this, 2 people entered the place. The first one is a fairly tall, pale young man of a slim, somewhat lanky build, described to be in his early 20s. He has black hair hanging low over his eyes, which are thin, turquoise in color, and heavily lidded. His most striking features are undoubtedly the patches of gnarled, wrinkled, purple skin that cover much of his lower face and neck, all the way down past his collarbone, below his eyes, around his torso, and on his arms and legs. He wears a plain pale gray, scoop neck shirt, below which a gray belt with a circular pattern wraps around his waist, a leather satchel attached at the back. The other is a relatively petite, fair-skinned girl who is very prone to blushing and is frequently described as to having a rather pretty face. She has slightly inward-tilting bright yellow eyes with thin slits, making them somewhat resemble those of a cat, and her wide mouth is also rather feline, as both her upper and lower canines are more pointed and longer than the rest of her teeth, giving her a vampire-like appearance. Her hair is a pale, dirty ash blonde and is styled into 2 messy buns, with numerous wild strands sticking out at all angles from their centers and where they're fastened, a straight fringe and 2 chin-length side bangs to frame her face. Her outfit consists of a plain seifuku with a kansai collar, both the skirt and the shirt dark blue with a double white trim, which is paired with a red scarf that she ties loosely below. Over this, she wears an oversized beige cardigan with a rather long hem and cuffs, and pockets on either side, the right one shown to hold a number of trinkets on either a keychain or a cell phone strap. She sports knee-length black socks and dark brown dress shoes with thick heels, the same as the outdoor uniform shoes students traditionally wear in Japanese schools. Interesting. Who are you? Shigaraki asked. I'm Himiko Toga. Living is difficult. I want a world where it is easy to live. I want to be like Stain-sama. He is part of this team, so let me join Tamura-kun. The girl said. It seems that she is crazy. It is perfect for her, Shigaraki thought. And you? Shigaraki asked to the other boy. At the moment my name is Dabai. My real name I will tell you when the time is right. I heard that the hero killer is part of this group. I want to know if it's true. After saying this, Satin enters the room, surprising and exciting the recruits. Who are these people? He asked. New members, Shigaraki said. I see that it is true. In that case, let me join, Dabai said. And here we have another. He is calmer. It will be perfect for him, Shigaraki thought. In this case, let me welcome you to the Villian League. After that, Shigaraki points his D-scan towards the recruits. Let me give you your welcome gift. Only the first 3 to join after Stain get it, so congratulations. After that, dark bolts came out of Tamura's D-scan and hit Dabai and Toga. Both of them start screaming in pain, while the rest of the league just watched in silence. Afternoon. Midoriya residence. Izuku was resting. His outing to the mall with his friends was fun. Everyone had a good time, and there were no incidents. Having friends and going out with them is awesome, Izuku thought. This was the first time he went out with friends. In that his phone rings, the number was unknown. Izuku decides to answer. Hello. Good afternoon. I'm talking about the Kamishiro Company. Is this Izuku Midoriya's number? Kamishiro Company, aren't they the main investors of the Island? Getting into confidence, Izuku continues. Yes, that's right. I'm Izuku Midoriya. Amazing. I'm contacting you as we want to invite you to Expo for winning the sports festival. You don't have to worry about the cost of travel and accommodation. We'll take care of that. What? Do you want me to go to the Expo? That's right. You can also bring a guest if you like. I see. Thanks for the invitation. Of course I want to go. I'd be a fool to turn down an invitation like this. Perfect. We'll mail you your round-trip tickets. Thank you very much. The pleasure is ours. We will be waiting for you alone or if you decide to bring someone else. Have a nice day. After this, the person on the phone hangs up. After processing what happened, Izuku does the only logical thing in a situation like this. I'm going to Island, scream like crazy. Attention all passengers. The plane is about to land on Island. The pilot of the plane announced. We are here, Island. I'm very excited. How about you, Shinso-kun? Izuku asked his friend, who was accompanying him. I am also very excited. Thank you for inviting me. Shinso said as he remembered when Izuku invited him to Island. Flashback. A few days ago. Izuku contacted his friends to meet him. The only one who couldn't attend was Uraraka. You wanted to see us, Midoriya? Todoroki asked. Yes, the Kamishiro Company contacted me and invited me to the Island. Wow, how lucky you are. But that doesn't explain why you didn't call. Shinso said. Kamishiro said I could invite someone. At first I wanted to bring my mom, but she told me I'd better invite a friend. But I couldn't decide between the four of you, although Uraraka-sen couldn't come. I see. It's a very kind gesture of you, Midoriya, but don't worry about me. My family was invited too, so I'll go too. Ida said. Same here. My father was invited, but he's still not fully recovered from Hasu. That's why he asked me to go in his place to represent him. Todoroki said. So, Ida-kun and Todoroki-kun will also go. That means that the one I will bring with me is Shinso-kun, Izuku said. Are you sure, Midoriya? Shinso asked. Of course. Like I said, my mom said it's better if I invite a friend. In that case, I accept your invitation. Thank you. I can't believe I'm about to get to Island, Shinso said. Neither do I, Izuku said. After this conversation, the plane lands on the island, and after passing the security, the duo finally arrived at the Expo. At last, the Expo, Izuku said. If I'm not mistaken, there will also be a party for industry guests in a couple of days. Luckily, we are also invited, Shinso said. We should go to the hotel to leave our things, then we can visit the rest of the Expo, Izuku said while looking at the map. Once at the hotel, Izuku approaches the reception. Excuse me, I'm Izuku Midoriya. I have a reservation at this hotel from the Kamishiro Company. After searching the computer, the receptionist responds with a smile. Here it is, room for 2, deluxe. Here you go. Your room is on the 4th floor. Welcome to the Island. I hope you enjoy your stay, the receptionist said as she handed Izuku his room key. After arriving at their room, Izuku and Shinso are surprised to see the size and luxury of it. Wow, it's as big as my apartment. I know they said it's a deluxe room, but I didn't think it was that big, Izuku said in awe. And it's a room with 2 beds. Those of Kamishiro do know how to do things, Shinso said in awe. Let's change into our hero outfits. Kamishiro's invitation mentions that we must be in our hero outfits during our stay, except for the party, which is in formal wear, Izuku said. After changing, both left the hotel. Where do you want to go? For my part, I want to visit the exhibition where they show several of the equipment of the heroes that were built here, Izuku said as he pointed at a building. I wanted to go to the combat simulator or the stadium where a robot destroying competition is taking place, Shinso said. What do you think if we separate and each one visits what they want? At lunchtime we get together to decide what to eat, Izuku suggested. Sounds good to me. But what about Ida and Todoroki? They are here too, right? Shinso said. If we cross paths, we invite them. It's a big place, so I don't know where they can be, Izuku said. Okay, see you later then, Shinso said as he looks in the direction of what appears to be a stadium. Izuku also leaves for the building he wanted to go to. Izuku is having an amazing time. He is seeing a lot of support equipment used by many heroes. This place is amazing. This is the hovercraft used by a former hero. But it's not just any hovercraft. It's the first hovercraft created by his second support agency after the first one went bankrupt. I see you know a lot about heroes. A voice snapped him out of his thoughts. Turning to see who told him that, he found a girl. The girl is a shapely and attractive pale-skinned young woman of slightly above average height with quite a round face. She has wavy blonde hair which reaches halfway down her back. 2 shorter pieces she leaves over her shoulders, side-swept bangs that frames her face, aqua blue eyes with notable upper eyelashes, some slightly longer ones extending on each side, and pronounced lower eyelashes. She wears a white short-sleeved dress shirt with plaid cuffs, a large bow of the same design at her neck, and a dark raspberry pink waistcoat. Accompanying these are pale gray capri pants, under which are a pair of plaid pink socks as well as a pair of heeled brown boots. She also wears a wristwatch and pink, oval-framed glasses. I'm sorry, but I found all you know about this interesting. Very few people can identify things as accurately as you, the girl said. Izuku blushed looking at the girl. She is easily the prettiest girl he has ever seen in his entire life. Well, I always liked heroes. In fact, I'm studying to be one. I see, so you're a future hero. Why, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself. My name is izukumidoriya, but I go by the hero name Agni. Nice to meet you, Agni. My name is Melissa Shield, but you can call me Melissa. The girl, now identified as Melissa, said. And nice to meet you, Melissa. Wait, Shield, like Professor David Shield. That's right, in fact he is my father. You are David Shield's daughter of Professor David Shield, an outstanding scientist in the investigation of quirks and who also won a Nobel Prize. All Might's former partner when he was in the United States, who designed all of All Might's suits. Not just that, he also, Izuku began to talk non-stop. However, Melissa's giggles stopped him. Oh sorry, it's a bad habit of mine, although I haven't done it for a long time. Don't worry, I'm just amused by how much you know about my father. By the way, you sound like you know Uncle Might himself. Uncle Might? Yes, my father is a great friend of All Might. That's why I call him Uncle Might. Makes sense, and to answer your question, All Might is one of my teachers at UA. So, you study at the UA. Incredible, it must be great. In that case, you should know that Uncle Might is here. All Might is on Island. Yes, in fact I invited him to celebrate my father's progress in one of his experiments. I see. In that case, I'd better let him spend the day with his friend. Hey, I have an idea. It may seem sudden, but do you mind if I can spend the rest of the day with you? I have no one to spend the day with. Sure. Sure. I actually came here with a friend, but we split up as we each wanted to go see different things. Thank you very much. I can't wait to meet more future heroes. After this, Melissa showed Izuku the rest of the things in the place. This is incredible. It doesn't look like an island built by humans. There are quite a few things and several heroes too, said an excited Izuku. That's how it is. We have all the comforts of a real city. This is because the scientists and their families have a confidentiality agreement, so they cannot leave. I see. Still, this is amazing. There will also be a party for industry guests in a couple of days. Yes, I know, my Shinso-kun and I are invited. In that case, do you think I can go with you? I am also invited. Sure. Thank you. Come on. There are still a lot of things to see, Melissa said as she showed Izuku the rest of the place. While they were looking at an invention, Izuku decided to ask Melissa something. I assume you attend the academy on Island. Yes, I want to be a scientist like my dad, Melissa said happily. However, Izuku could see a hint of sadness in her expression. When he was about to ask, someone interrupts them. I see you're having fun, Deku-kun. Hearing this, both turn around to see Uraraka in her hero costume, with a slightly annoyed face and a forced smile. Uraraka-san? What are you doing here? I see you're having fun, Deku-kun, Uraraka said without changing her expression. Izuku couldn't say anything because someone else called their attention. I see you're here too, Midoriya. It was Momo, also in her hero costume. I didn't know you had an invitation, Midoriya. Gyro was here too, just like the others, in her hero costume. Why, yeah, I was invited for winning the sports festival. By the way, Shinso-kun is here too. They gave me permission to bring someone with me. Your friends? Melissa asked. Yes, they are also my classmates, Izuku said. Cool. Hey, why don't we go get something to drink? The blonde girl asked. Some cafeteria. So, all of you have worked with professional heroes. Cool, said Melissa. Well, it was training more than anything else. The only one who had a real experience of all of us here is Midoriya, Momo answered. It's still amazing, Melissa said. Here are your drinks, a waiter said. However, the girls and Izuku recognized his voice and were surprised to see who it was. Kaminari-kun, what are you doing here? Izuku asked. They need part-time staff for the exhibition, and that's why I applied, answered Kaminari. I guess is also your classmates, said Melissa. That's right, Kaminari said. Izuku was about to say something but was interrupted by someone. Why do you stop to talk? It was Ida, who was in his hero outfit and was running towards them. If you are going to earn money, you must work harder. So here you are, Ida-kun, Izuku said. Of course, although of all my family, only I could come. So, you too, Ida-kun? I also received invitations because my father is a shareholder of the sponsors of the iExpo, said Momo. And since Momo had 2 extra invitations, among the girls we competed to see who would go with her, and that is why we are here, Gyro said as Uraraka nodded. Izuku was about to speak, but an explosion caught her attention. Arriving at the place, they could see that it was a type of competition. Then the announcer began to speak. Completion time, 15 seconds. First place. It's Shinso-kun. Hey, Shinso-kun over here, Izuku called his friend, who was transformed in Strabimon. Midoriya, Shinso said before jumping up and landing on the railing in front of the group. I see there are other people too, Shinso said as he greeted the people he knows. In that he turns to see Melissa. And you are? I'm Melissa Shield. You must be Hitoshi Shinso, right? Shinso steps down from the railing to the ground and returns to his human form. I guess Midoriya told you about me. That's right, nice to meet you. What an interesting quirk. I had never seen anything like it, Melissa said. It's not that weird. In that, Shinso addresses Izuku. Since you're here, why don't you try it too, Midoriya? Sure, I have nothing to lose by trying. Looks like we have a new contestant. Getting ready, Izuku pulls out his D-scan, which doesn't go unnoticed by Melissa. I had never seen anything like it. In that, he notices that Shinso has a similar one. He also has one. What does this mean? His question is answered when Izuku transforms into Flamemon. He also does the same. Maybe they are related in some way. No, maybe it's a very strange coincidence. Amazing. 16 seconds. Second place. That was amazing, Deku-kun, cheered Uraraka to Izuku, who just came back. Thanks. I was close to first place. Amazing. The announcement got everyone's attention. 13 seconds. He's in first place, said the announcer while Todoroki, in his Paladramon form, was standing in the arena. He froze all the robots. Todoroki-kun, that caught the boy's attention. I see all of you came, said Todoroki, in his human form. He was now with the rest. It must be great to be at UA, said Melissa. However, in her mind other thoughts occurred. He can also do the same. This definitely can't be a coincidence. I should ask Izuku, but maybe it's a secret. I better ask him in private. Some time later. It was 6 p.m. and the iExpo had closed for today. In the cafeteria, Kaminari was on the floor totally tired. It's just the pre-opening and I'm already very tired. At that moment the rest arrived to see him. You worked really hard today, Ida said as he handed them 2 tickets. What is this? Asked Kaminari. Invitations for the party, answered Momo. For me? Asked Kaminari. Melissa got some invitations for you, as a reward for your hard work, said Gyro. Thank you, Kaminari said. Now that everything is settled, I am leaving. See you tomorrow. Ida said as he walked away. Todoroki did the same. We are leaving too, Momo said as she and the other girls left. I guess it's time to go back to the hotel, Shinso said, but before he and Izuku were able to leave, Melissa interrupted. Wait, Izuku, can you come with me? I want to show you something. Sure, I guess we'll meet at the hotel, Shinso-kun. Sure. After this, Shinso leaves. Island Academy campus. This is the campus of the academy where I go, Melissa said as she showed Izuku around the place. And this is my experiment lab. Upon entering the room, Izuku is surprised to see the number of machines that were in the place. Wow, this is great. I can't believe you're doing research in a place like this. In that, Izuku realizes the trophies that Melissa had. You really are talented. I do not think so. My grades are not that good, Melissa said as she searched for something among her experiments. So, what do you want to show me? Izuku asked. In fact, I want to ask you something. I just wanted to do it in private. I see, so, what is it? I noticed that your quirk is some kind of transformation and that you use a device to do it. However, I did notice that Todoroki and Shizno also do the same thing and have the same device as you. Oh, that. It is somewhat complicated to explain. Before that, I want to ask you if you know anything about the news of the evolution of the quirks. Yes, the director of the UA said that 3 students had evolved their quirk or something similar. Wait, are you 3 those students? Yes, that's why our quirks are similar, since we need to evolve to be able to use the new level of our quirks. This device, D-scan we call it, makes us take the necessary form to use our quirks, evolve, in other words, Izuku explained. I see, sorry if the question was somewhat aggressive. Don't worry. By the way, while we're here, I can ask you another question, Izuku said. Sure. When you mentioned being the same as your father, I could notice a certain sadness in you. Perhaps, is there something else? Melissa was silent for a few seconds, but then she decided to answer. You see, before that, I wanted to be a hero, just like everyone I guess, but in the end my dream became impossible. Why? Because I was diagnosed quirkless. This answer shocked Izuku. My quirk never woke up, and when I was 4 years old my father took me to the doctor, and there, he confirmed our fears. There I decided to be like my father. Don't get me wrong, I love what I'm doing, but deep inside me, I still want to be a hero. I see, you said you're 15 years old, right? Yes. You're the same age as me. Apparently, we have more in common than it seems. What do you mean? I was quirkless too. For a long time, I didn't know I had a quirk until a few months before I entered UA. But how can you not know you have a quirk? Apparently my quirk evolved very early, and I couldn't use it because I didn't know I needed a D-scan. It wasn't possible to detect it in the traditional way either. It wasn't until shortly before entering the UA that I was able to use it. So, I can say that I understand you, Izuku said. I see. After this, Melissa smiles slightly. I may still have some hope, you know. Who says, maybe the same thing is happening to me? Yeah, maybe, Izuku smiled. He knew that was a lie though, but he didn't want to take away Melissa's hopes. Who says, maybe one of the remaining warriors will choose her. Hotel. Izuku entered the room. I see you arrived, Shinso said. What did she want to show you? Nothing. She wanted to ask me about the D-scan. She finds it strange that Todoroki, you and I can do the same thing. I see. What did you say to her? What Nezu said to tell people in case someone asks us about this. Good. By the way, Ida said that we all meet tomorrow at the entrance of the place where the party will be, so that we can all go together. Great. I'll let Melissa know. Good. Well, I'm going to sleep. It's been a fun day. Night. Night, Izuku said, and after telling Melissa of the plans, he also goes to sleep. Izuku and Shinso arrive at the meeting place with the rest, both dressed in formal clothes. Izuku wears a red suit with his signature pair of red shoes. Shinso, for his part, had on a purple suit with gray details. Upon arrival, they meet Ida, who has a blue suit, Todoroki, with a white suit, and Kaminari with his waiter suit, which is formal. Sorry, we're a little late, Izuku said. It seems that people are still missing, Shinso noted. In that, the door opens, and their 3 classmates enter. Sorry for being late, but Gyro-san took longer than expected, Momo said. Momo wears an elegant light green sleeveless dress, a pair of white heels, while her hair is tied in a different ponytail than she usually wears. Gyro is wearing a pink and purple dress, on top of which he has a leather jacket and 2 purple gloves. She has long gray socks and her shoes are pink. Her hair is tied up and has a pink flower on it. Lastly, Uraraka is wearing a pink dress, long black stockings, and a pair of purple heels. In her hair she has a black ribbon with a white flower. Sorry, I'm not used to wearing clothes like this, Gyro said. I think you look stunning, Kaminari said while giving a thumbs up. In that he receives an attack from Gyro's jack. You don't like compliments? It's my first time wearing formal clothes, Uraraka said as she approaches Izuku. Well, I think you look. Izuku doesn't finish speaking as he turns to the entrance, and what he sees makes him blush. Melissa had entered. Her formal look is her hair up in a high ponytail that is tied with a large black bow with bangs swept back underneath a red headband, while her face framing is left loose. She has golden earrings which hang from her earlobes, and she doesn't wear her glasses. She wears a strapless dress with a sweetheart neckline. The upper half of the dress is a deep blue, while the skirt is a pale powder blue. Separating the 2 segments is a black cloth belt with a large white rose that sits slightly to her left, covering where the material is tied. The belt matches the black ruffles underneath her knee-length skirt. On her feet, she wears white heels with straps and an open toe. Her toenails have painted a shade of coral pink, the same as her fingernails and lips. Is everyone here already? Perfect. The party is about to start, Melissa said. Melissa? Is that you? You look very pretty. I mean good. You look good, Izuku said as his blush grew. Hearing this, Melissa smiles with a slight blush on her cheeks. Thank you, Izuku. Seeing this interaction, Shinso can only pinch the bridge of his nose and shake his head. Midoriya is awesome in many ways, but with girls he's pretty pathetic. Very well, since we are all here, we should go inside, Ida said. However, when trying to open the door, it does not open. Weird. Suddenly, the windows and doors are blocked by metal shutters. What's going on? Kaminari asked. The lifts don't work either, Gyro said. It's the security system. Something must have activated it, Melissa said. We must get to the party's reception. All Might is there, Izuku said. Is All Might here? Then there is nothing to worry about, Kaminari said. However, Izuku ignored him. Melissa-san, is there any other way to enter the party? Izuku asked. If we use the emergency stairs, maybe we can get to the party, Melissa answered. Please guide us, Izuku said so that after everyone follows Melissa through the emergency stairs. Leaving the stairs, the group could see that they were above the party. Seeing what was happening, they were surprised. All the heroes, including All Might, were trapped while several thugs were pointing guns at the civilians. Izuku takes out his phone and with a flashlight he signals to All Might, who manages to see him. Gyro-san, can you hear him? Izuku asked. Yes. At that, Izuku beckons All Might, saying they can hear him and asking what's going on. The villains have taken over the tower. They have control of the security systems. The entire island has been taken hostage. It's too dangerous. You have to get out of here. After these words, the boys hide in a safe place to decide what to do. I say we listen to All Might and get out of here, Ida said. I have the same opinion. We're still students. We can't fight villains without our licenses. We must escape, Momo said. This place was built with the same level of security as Tartarus, where they lock up the most dangerous villains. It will be very difficult to escape, Melissa said. Still, we can't stay here doing nothing. We are trying to become heroes. Does that mean that doing nothing is okay? Todoroki-kun, Momo tried to say. I want to save them, Izuku interrupted. We need to save All Might. That way he can work things out. Are you sure? It can be dangerous, Kaminari said. I don't care. I'll find a way to save everyone, Izuku said. Everyone is quiet after hearing Izuku's words. The security system is on the top floor of the tower. If we restart the system, the heroes will be freed, and they will be able to save the hostages, Melissa said. If we can reset the security system, there will be no need to confront the villains, Izuku said. I'm in, let's do it, Shinso said, surprising everyone. Me too, Todoroki said. All right, I'm in too, Kaminari said. With you three we cannot fail. Me too, Gyro and Momo said. If you promise to run away if things get tough, then I'll go too, Ida said. Very well, Melissa-san, you wait here, you will be safe in this place, Izuku said. What are you saying? I'm going too, Melissa said. But nothing, I'm the only one who can restart the security systems. Besides, this is my only chance to be a hero, even if it's just for one time. Hearing these words, Izuku remembered when he still didn't have Ancient Grimon's powers. Very well, let's save everyone. After this and warn All Might of their plans, much to the hero's regret, the boys go to the security room. After climbing an infinity of stairs and reaching the 80th floor, the boys are very tired. It turns out that the security room is on the 200th floor. Being tired, Kaminari opens a door through which they can cut through. Unfortunately, that made the villains realize that they are there. The boys arrive at the plant nursery, where there is an elevator that can take them to the 200th floor. However, two villains came out of the elevator, who begin to patrol the place. The group hides. What do we do? Kaminari asked. You guys go ahead, Todoroki said. I'll take care of those villains. Todoroki-kun, Izuku tried to stop him. Don't worry about me, I'll be with you before you know it. After these words, Todoroki takes out his D-scan and charges against the villains. Evolution, transforming into Paladramon. Ice Age. And firing an ice beam that hits the villains. After this, Todoroki uses his ice to lift the group to a higher floor so that they can continue advancing. Go! Following this, one of the villains appears to transform into some kind of purple ogre while the other creates currents of air from his hands. 2 against 1, you really are a fool if you think you can beat us, said the ogre villain. And you are fools if you underestimate me. The villainous ogre charges at Todoroki, who dodges the attack. Meteor hail, and from one attack he sends the villain flying. However, he quickly begins to dodge the other villain's compressed air attacks. Ice Age. As Todoroki fights, the rest of the group arrives at the 130th floor, which is guarded by hundreds of robots. The group don't know how to advance. It seems that the villains changed their tactics. Now they want to capture us, Ida said. How do we get past these robots? Kaminari asked. There is no other alternative. Gyro-san, Yaoyorozu-san, Kaminari-kun, Uraraka-san, it's time to fight, Ida said. What are you talking about? Moving forward without fighting is now impossible. We don't know what lies ahead. That's why Midoriya-kun and Shinso-kun must go ahead with Melissa-san, Ida said. No, we can find a way to avoid the robots, Izuku said. No, Ida-kun is right. You must continue. There is no other alternative, Momo said as she created a pair of weapons and handed one to Uraraka. But, Midoriya, I think they've already decided. Let's go, Shinso said. Right. Good luck, guys, Izuku said. Okay, let's go. In that, the group charges. Ida starts destroying robots with his kicks. Kaminari electrocutes them. Momo and Uraraka destroy robots with the weapons that Momo created, and Gyro destroys robots with her jacks. The trio is close to reaching the 200th floor. However, the next floor can only be accessed via an elevator or through a trapdoor, which is in the ceiling. Damn, now what? Shinso said. I think we can reach the trapdoor. Are you sure? Shinso asked. Yes, Agumon and Labamon shouldn't have a problem jumping to it. Good. Melissa-san, please climb on my back, Izuku said, and the girl does what is indicated. Let's go, Izuku indicated. Evolution, both boys screamed, transforming into Agumon and Labamon. They are different from those of that time, Melissa thought. Both boys jump, and thanks to their physical enhancements from the transformations, they have no problem reaching the next floor. We arrived, Shinso said, quickly blocking an attack from a villain, who attacked Shinso from behind with his hand transformed into a weapon. Midoriya. Crimson Nuclei. Izuku quickly attacks the villain and knocks him out. We have to hurry, Shinso said. Yes, Melissa-san, please don't let go. We'll increase the speed to get there faster, Izuku said. Yes, Melissa said, clinging tighter to Izuku's back. Both boys start running at high speeds, on the way knocking out various villains who were trying to stop them. David's shield is in the security vault, located in the same place as the security room. He is looking for something. In that he manages to get a briefcase which had a device inside. Finally, I'm glad to know that what I organized paid off. Father? In that David turns to see his daughter, on the back of what he thinks is a hero. What do you mean you organized? Are you behind this incident? Everything to get that device? After being cornered, David decides to admit it. Yes. What? Why? This device is able to increase the power of the heroes, without using a drug. However, the committee did not see it that way. They decided to close my invention and take all my things. That's why I hired these villains to get it back. This must be a lie. My father would never do something like that, Melissa said, tears in her eyes. Why? I do it for all might. David said. You may not know it, but his quirk is disappearing. This surprises the trio. With my invention I can prevent that from happening. All Might's quirk is disappearing? That explains why he's always in such a hurry after classes are over. Izuku thought. Everyone is risking their lives. Do you have any idea what Izuku and his classmates had to go through to rescue the hostages? What do you mean? David asked. The villains are actually supposed to be actors and they should be acting. Of course we are pretending, someone said. Suddenly a bullet hit David's stomach. We pretended to pretend we were villains. The head of the villains said. He is a tall, bulky man with dark red hair and yellow eyes. Dark patches of face paint cover his mouth, nose, and extend across his right eye, and there is also a scar on his left cheek. He wears a large, white coat with gray cuffs and trimmings. He also sports combat gear that his entire squad wears, including combat boots, dark pants, and a combat vest. He covers his hands with brown gloves and sports a metallic mask. Dad! Melissa got off Izuku's back and ran to give her father first aid, tearing off a piece of her dress and using it to cover the bleeding. Luckily, the bullet didn't hit any organs. Damn you! Izuku yelled as he and Shinso charged at the villain. However, the villain touches the wall and a giant metal block comes out of the wall and collides with the duo, causing them to fall to the ground. After that, another metal block, this time from the ceiling, crushes them and keeps them trapped. Melissa, quick! Reset the security, I'll distract him, David said. Yes. Unbeknownst to the villain, Melissa sneaks into the security office. Who are you? David asks. My name is Wolfram, and I'm here to get this, Wolfram said as he took the briefcase and took out the device it contained. No, Izuku screamed as he and Shinso charged again. The villain smiles and uses his quirk again to attack with various metal blocks. Seeing this, Shinso pushes Izuku out of the way. However, he receives the full attack, which sends him flying and crashing into the wall. Taking advantage of the push, Izuku positions himself in front of Wolfram. However, metal emerges from the ground and hits him. Not only that, it also starts dragging him towards the ceiling, going through it and falling on the outside of the building, up to the top. Wolfram laughs and proceeds to put the device on his head. After activating the device, his appearance changed, his muscles grew, and the metal of the building began to fuse with him. Ha ha ha, let's see how you do it now, heroes, he said while using the metal to go up to where Izuku is. At that time, the system restarts. Melissa returns to her father and Shinso recovers from the attack. Where is Wolfram? Shinso asked. On the roof, the other hero is up there too, David said. Understood. Midoriya and I will keep you busy while All Might arrives. Shinso prepares to jump through the hole Izuku made by being dragged. Wait, I'm going too, Melissa said. No, it's very dangerous, Shinso said. Do you think I care? I'm going too. Did you hear me? Melissa said. Fine. But once there, look for a safe place to hide, okay? Yes. Melissa, no, David tried to stop his daughter. Sorry, but must go, Melissa said as she climbed on Shinso's back. Be careful, please. David said so that after Shinso jumped in the direction of the roof. With Izuku. Izuku recovers from the attack. When he gets up, he can notice that the building is still under construction, at least this part. It seems that they still plan to do more floors. There is even a crane here. In that, from the hole through which he came out, Wolfram appears. Izuku quickly begins to dodge various metal attacks from the villain. As Izuku dodges the attacks, Shinso and Melissa reach the roof. "We're here, now go hide," Shinso said as Melissa got off his back and went to hide. Seeing that Melissa is safe, Shinso draws his swords and tries to attack Wolfram from behind. Lobo Kendo, licked Victor Upsilon. As he is about to land the attack, a metal block emerges from the ground and hits him in the stomach, causing him to fly off and fall to the floor of the ceiling. "Shinso-kun," Izuku yells. However, he drops his guard and Wolfram takes advantage of this to hit him with a metal-covered punch. Izuku flies out, and it seems that he is going to fall from the building. However, some metal prevents him from falling into the void. However, that metal crashes him to the ground just after saving him from the deadly fall. "I will not let a simple fall kill you. You will die by my hands," Wolfram said as Izuku and Shinso got up and positioned themselves next to each other, ready to continue fighting. With Todoroki. Todoroki dodges another attack from the ogre villain and quickly counterattacks. Meteor hail, surrounding himself with ice, Todoroki tackles the villain and sends him flying and crashing into a wall. The other villain tries to attack with several balls of compressed air. Thanks to Todoroki being able to fly, he easily dodges them. "Damn it, stay still," the villain said. The villain is about to launch another air bullet. However, Ice Age, Todoroki freezes his hand with which he was going to shoot. Meteor hail, and with a tackle he sends him flying and collides with his partner, and they both crash into the wall. Ice Age, Todoroki ends the match by freezing both villains. "That will keep them at bay while everything is resolved," Todoroki said. "Now I need to meet with the rest." After this, Todoroki begins to fly and go to where the rest of his classmates were. Izuku and Shinso vs Wolfram. Izuku and Shinso try to make their way towards Wolfram. However, the villain's quirk is very annoying. Thanks to the fact that the building is mainly made of metal, the villain can control it and get in their way. Not only that, if they manage to get close, the villain seems to have a second quirk, which increases his physical strength, and what's worse, thanks to David's device, the villain has his quirks enhanced. In short, they cannot get close as the metal prevents them, and if they somehow manage to get close, the villain can hit them very hard. "Damn it, the metal is very annoying. Don't let us get close. Without the metal, it would be easier to face him," Shinso said as he dodged a metal block. "I know, if any of us could fly, it would be easier to avoid metal. But only Todoroki-kun can, and he's not here." Quickly, both boys charge Wolfram. However, the metal chases them and forces them back. Pyro Punch. Izuku tries to destroy a metal block. He succeeds, but another appears and hits him. Izuku recovers and Shinso reaches his side. They can see how two gigantic metal blocks are heading towards them. Fire darts, light ball. Both boys use their ranged attacks to try to destroy the metal. However, they don't seem to succeed. They keep shooting. However, the ground below them begins to move and throws them off balance so that the blocks fall on top of both of them. Both boys are struggling against the metal, so it doesn't crush them. With all their might, they try to avoid it. However, the metal is getting heavier. Melissa is watching all of this in a safe place. However, she can't bear to see the boys about to be defeated. "No, this can't be. They need help, but what can I do?" In that, Melissa turns to see the crane, which had several tubes on its hook. The crane, maybe it can give them a window to attack. Quickly, Melissa goes to the crane. Izuku and Shinso couldn't take it anymore. Metal is too heavy, even for them. Ha ha ha, that's it. How pathe, Wolfram could not finish as some tubes hit him and made him crash to the ground. Not only that, but they also fell on top of him. Izuku and Shinso feel the metal lose strength and manage to get out of there. Seeing what happened, they saw Melissa operating the crane. The girl gives them a thumbs up. However, they are not the only ones who notice the girl on the crane. Wolfram saw her too. That girl is a pain in the ass, quickly using his quirk to hit and destroy the crane with the metal. Melissa flies out of the crane. Melissa, Izuku screams as he and Shinso try to save the girl. However, Wolfram, with his metal, prevents it. Melissa begins to see the world in slow motion, falling to what is surely her death. So, this is how I die. At least I was able to do something heroic before I died. Melissa closes her eyes, waiting for the final impact. However, it never comes. In fact, it doesn't seem like she's going to continue falling. The girl opens her eyes, and to her surprise, it wasn't Izuku or Shinso who saved her. It was something more like a spirit, for lack of a better word. This surprised everyone, including Wolfram, who didn't move by the surprise, allowing Izuku and Shinso to recover for a moment. Midoriya, that's ancient caveman, Shinso said. Yes, that means Melissa was chosen, Izuku said. Melissa lands safely while watching her savior. After that, the spirit begins to disappear. However, something remains behind, a device. Seeing it, Melissa quickly identifies it as the same device used by Izuku, Shinso, and Todoroki, only that this one is pink with purple. Without thinking twice, she takes it. Is this, Melissa thought? Remembering how Izuku, Shinso, and Todoroki transform, she decided to try it too. Data appears on Melissa's right hand. Execute. The D-scan makes contact with the data. Spirit evolution. Data begins to surround her. Inside the data, Melissa's clothes were stored inside the D-scan, in that several screens appeared around Melissa. Each screen shows what appears to be a piece of pink clothing. Soon each screen joins to form two screens, one behind Melissa and one in front, each screen showing the full clothing, kind of revealing, to be honest. In that, both screens begin to approach Melissa. Once they make contact with her, Melissa begins to change. Several seconds later, the transformation is complete. The data disappeared, and instead of Melissa there was Caseman, a fairy Digimon with long purple hair, fair skin, and 4 green stripes on its face. It wears a pink bra and pink panties, a high-waist pink belt above its navel, and large, pink boots with green soles, purple heels with butterfly wings attached, green borders at the top, yellow and red circles, and white knee pads with 4 green diagonal marks coming out of it, forming a butterfly image on each knee. It also wears purple armbands under metallic gauntlets with brooches at the wrist that are adorned with the symbol of the spirits of wind and have butterfly wings attached, silver shoulder pads, and a visor with a final pair of butterfly wings attached. After the transformation, Melissa begins to see herself. This is me. Why do clothes have to be so revealing? Well, that's not important at the moment. The girl turns to Wolfram. Wolfram, I will also be your opponent. The girl starts to fly, as if she always has, and heads for Wolfram. I don't know how I can fly without practicing. It feels like I've always done it. Damn girl, I don't know how you did that, but you won't beat me, Wolfram said before attacking with several metal blocks. Thanks to being able to fly, Melissa easily dodges all of Wolfram's attacks and manages to get closer to him. The villain tries to hit her, but thanks to her agility and light body, Melissa manages to dodge the blow. Tempest Twist. Melissa performs a handstand and unleashes a whirlwind kick, which knocks Wolfram to the ground disoriented. Izuku and Shinso arrive with Melissa. Melissa-san, you are amazing, Izuku said. Thanks, I can finally fulfill my dream, Melissa said. Welcome to the club, Shinso said. Wolfram starts to get up, although he is still somewhat disoriented. All right, it's time to take this guy down. Melissa-san, Shinso-kun, let's go, Izuku ordered. Melissa gets ahead of the boys. This makes Wolfram focus on her and try to attack her with the metal. The girl dodges all the villain's attacks. Stupid girl, you won't be able to beat me just by dodging. I'm just distracting you, metalhead. In that, Izuku and Shinso appear in front of Wolfram. He is unable to defend himself. They are very close. Combined attack. Shining burn slash. The two yelled in unison. Izuku surrounds Wolfram with a fire dragon. Shinso takes advantage of this to slash with his swords, causing fire and light to hit Wolfram. After receiving the attack, the villain is suspended in the air, very weak but still conscious. You haven't defeated me yet, he weakly said. In that, Melissa appears in front of him. Don't forget about me, flowery gust. Melissa performs a kick with her left leg, right into Wolfram's stomach, and then another with her right leg, kicking Wolfram in the face. The villain falls unconscious to the ground, and not only that, But the kick was also so strong that it removed the device from his head, which was grabbed in the air by Melissa. Melissa lands while Izuku and Shinso arrive at her side. Melissa stares at her father's device and then throws it on the floor and destroys it with a stomp. This thing has caused more problems than it fixed. A few seconds later, he realizes what happened. Wait, did I just do what I did? That's right. Congratulations, Melissa-san, Izuku said. Melissa couldn't take it anymore and tears came to her eyes. I'm so happy. In that, Todoroki lands from the sky. Guys, are you okay? Who are you? It's me, Melissa. Melissa, that means? Before Todoroki says anything else, All Might comes up from the ground with David. I'm here, All Might said. A little late, All Might. We already took care of this guy, Shinso said. I see. Good job, young Midoriya, young Shinso, young Todoroki, and young. Excuse me, who are you? Melissa giggles. It's me, Uncle Might. Uncle Might? Wait, Melissa. Melissa, is that you? Davis asked. Yes, it's me, Dad. In that, Melissa returns to her human form. So that's how it works. How is this possible? You were supposed to be quirkless. All Might turned to see the trio of boys, who returned to their human form as well. The trio nods to confirm the hero's suspicions. I see, David. Your daughter was never quirkless. What happened is that her quirk evolved before the doctors detected it. Evolve? What are you talking about? All Might proceeds to tell Davis the hypothesis of the evolution of the quirks. I see. That explains a lot of things. Anyways, we better lock this thug up. You guys rest easy, you did an amazing job. Next day. After a difficult day, everyone was ready to return to Japan. Melissa is saying goodbye to everyone. The last ones missing were Izuku and Shinso. Goodbye, guys, it was very nice to meet you. Same here, Shinso said. Yes, it is a pity that we have to go. I would have liked to know you more, Izuku said. Yes. By the way, Izuku, a reward for helping me. Melissa approaches Izuku. That won't be nice. Izuku couldn't finish speaking as Melissa gave him a kiss on the cheek. Great, you broke him, Shinso said. Well, it's time to go. Our flight is about to leave, Shinso said while dragging a stunned Izuku. Goodbye, Melissa said goodbye with small tears falling from her eyes. A few days later. David is at home, still recovering from the bullet he received. In that, his cell phone rings. David answers. Hello? Principal Nezu? What's going on? Is there something you need? What? Are you serious? Melissa at UA? It makes sense. Everyone who presented the quirk evolution is in the same class at the UA, and you also told me that there is a vacancy in that class. But, I don't know, in that. David turns to the window. There he can see his daughter, transformed into caseman, helping to rebuild what was damaged. You know what? I accept. I will fill out all the necessary paperwork. It's time for her to fulfill her true dream. At UA. I'm glad to hear that, Mr. Shield. I'm sure Melissa Chan will be in good hands. Once you finish the paperwork, I will send you your daughter's student ID. We can't wait to have her with us. After this, Nezu hangs up the call. One more with us, only one left. A classroom. The 19 students of Class A were in their classroom. Camp was a couple of days away. However, there seemed to be a few announcements Aizawa needed to give them. You are all here. Good. As you know, since the beginning of the year, this class has been with one less student. This has forced us to change activities and lessons a bit to accommodate this lack. Aizawa started. Fortunately, this will no longer be necessary. What do you mean, Sensei? Ida asked. Starting today, you will have a new classmate, Aizawa said. This news surprised everyone. A new classmate. Who? Is it someone from the General Studies Department? Why not ask her instead, Aizawa said. Her? Don't tell me it's her. Izuku thought he already had an idea of who his new classmate could be. The door of the classroom opened, and a blonde girl entered, which several people recognized. Some of you may already know her. Still, let me introduce you to Melissa Shield. She will be your new classmate. I hope that even though she joined after you, you treat her as an equal, Aizawa said. Hello, as Aizawa already said, my name is Melissa Shield. Nice to meet all of you. You can ask her any questions you want later. First, we need to finish the announcements. Shield, go to your seat. I understand that Nizu has already filled you in on everything. Aizawa said, emphasizing the word, everything. Yes. After that, Melissa takes a seat. Moving on to other matters, the place where we will go camping was changed at the last minute. Aizawa said. What? The wild classroom yelled. In this way, we can prevent the place from being disclosed. This way, we will make sure that the villains do not attack us. Aizawa explained. That's all. You have the rest of the day off. Cafeteria. I'm glad you were able to join the UA. It was a nice surprise. Izuku said to Melissa. Yes, I'm glad to be here too. In fact, it caught me by surprise too. Melissa was sitting in the cafeteria. At first she sat with Izuku's group, but soon after all class was at the same table, since they wanted to meet their new classmate, or, in the case of those who were in the Island, know her better. Flashback. A few days ago. Melissa, David called his daughter. I'm here, Melissa said as she approached her father. Do you need some help? No, in fact, I have a present for you, David said as he handed something to his daughter. A plane ticket? Melissa asked. That's right, you're going to Japan, David said. Why? It's not that I don't appreciate it, but why? Melissa asked. Easy, the UA is in Japan, and since you are going to study there, you need to be in Japan, David told his daughter as he handed her new UA student ID. Melissa didn't know what to say. I don't know what to say. In that, tears came out of her eyes. She quickly runs to hug her father. Thank you. You don't have to thank me. It was Principal Nezu who asked me to let you go to the UA. Your friends probably told him about what happened. Luckily, there was a vacancy in heroism class A. You're sure? Aren't you disappointed that I don't want to be like you? Melissa, I would never be disappointed in you. In fact, I could never be prouder of what my daughter is going to become. You know, I also wanted to be a hero at your age, although unlike you, my quirk didn't allow it. Thanks, Melissa said as her father wiped away her tears. Wait, I'm not supposed to be allowed to leave the island. Let's just say that Nezu can be very persuasive. He convinced them to let you go to the UA. I see, I guess I should thank him when I get to UA. Well, what are we waiting for? It's time to prepare your things. A friend of all might will receive you in Japan, David said. And where will I be staying? Don't worry, I already have a rented apartment for you. All Might's friend will take you there, as well as show you how to get to the UA. Thanks, Dad. I will miss you. Me too, but don't worry, because every day I'll go to sleep knowing that my daughter will become a great hero. I see, so it was thanks to Nezu that you're here, Izuku said. Still, I'm glad there's another girl in the group, Mina said. By the way, what is your quirk? Kaminari asked. You never told us what it is. Well, I have this. So, Melissa said as she showed her D-scan. This surprised the entire class. You also have one of those, just like Midoriya, Shinso, and Todoroki, Mina said. Damn, I'm so jealous. I also want to evolve my quirk, Kaminari said. Yeah, me too, Kirishima said. In what everyone said that they also want to evolve their quirks, Melissa approaches Izuku and whispers to him. By the way, Nezu told me all about Digimon, legendary warriors, and that Shigaraki guy and the League. I will help too. Izuku nods at this with a smile, as well as nodding towards Todoroki and Shinso, who understood what he meant, smiling at Melissa. After this, the rest of the day passed normally, and so on until the day of the camp arrived. Camp Day. Outside the UA. Class A is ready to go to camp. Everyone is excited about this, but suddenly... What? Class A needs regularization courses? So, some of you failed? A blonde guy said. Doesn't that seem weird to you? Wasn't Class A supposed to be better than Class B? In that, the blonde boy receives a chop to the neck by an orange-haired girl. Sorry, Class A. This guy is very strange. In that, the girl looks at Melissa. I don't remember seeing you at the sports festival. Oh yeah, it's because I wasn't even in the UA at that time. I just joined Class A just a few days ago. My name is Melissa Shield. Oh, I see. Welcome to the course of heroes then. Don't worry, in Class B we are not like that. He is an exception, the girl said as she dragged the blonde to the Class B bus. All right guys, line up to get on the bus, Izuku said. 1 hour of travel later. Very well, you can go down, Aizawa said as all the class gets of the bus. Wait, where are we? Where is Class B? If I told you that there is no reason to be here, it would be a lie, Aizawa said. Hey, Eraser, a female voice said. It's been a while. The class turns and can see 2 girls, one blonde and one brown hair. We are the wild pussycats, both girls scream while posing. Next to them was a boy with a scowling face. It's the pussycats, they'll be helping us, Aizawa said. They are one of the 4 groups of heroes that founded the Union office, an excited Izuku said. They specialize in rescue operations. This is the 12th year of. He couldn't finish because the blonde hero, Pixie Bob, grabbed him by the face. I have 18 years of heart. You are 18. While this is happening, the other hero, Mandalay, points to a place in the distance. The campsite is there, at the base of the mountain. So why did we stop halfway? Don't tell me. What if we better get back on the bus? Right now, it's 9:30. If you hurry, you will arrive at noon, Mandalay said. It cannot be. Let's go back. Kittens that do not arrive before 12:30 will not have food, Pixie Bob said as she used her quirk to push Class A off the road into the woods. Feel free to use your quirks while you're here, Mandalay said. This is not manly at all, Kirishima said after getting up. We better get moving, Izuku said. Suddenly, a beast made of dirt appears in front of them. Don't you think that's too excessive, Eraser? Mandalay asked. No, these guys have already been through harder things, even our new member. They are all capable of defending themselves, Aizawa said. Evolution. The chosen 4 quickly transform and in a combined blow destroy the earth beast. Wow. Melissa, so that's you? What's up with your clothes? Mina asked while several of the boys stared at her. It's not my fault. I don't choose my clothes when I transform. Hey, focus, Izuku, transformed in Agumon, said. We have to get to camp. Guide us, class president. Shinso, transformed in Labamon, said. All right, Class A, come on. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 4. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Louis CJ 888 on fanfiction.net. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.